Hi friends, and welcome to Crumbz from Gerard. Today we have one of the more difficult parables of Jesus. Let's try to understand it part by part. There was a rich man who had a steward, and charges were brought to him that this man was wasting his goods. And he called him and said to him, "You can no longer be my steward." Rich landowners very often had stewards, managers to look after their affairs, and these managers were either free men or slaves. But in this parable, it seems to be a free man. Let's see. And the steward said to himself, "What shall I do? I am not strong enough to dig, and I am ashamed to beg." Digging was considered one of the most difficult jobs of the day, and normally slaves did it. And so here you see that the steward wasn't a slave. And then he says, "I am ashamed to beg." The book of Sirach says it's better to die than to beg. And then he has a brilliant idea. "I have decided what to do so that people may receive me into their houses when I am put out of my stewardship." So summoning his master's debtors one by one, he said to the first, "How much do you owe my master?" He said, 100 measures of oil. And he said to him, "Take your bill and sit down quickly and write 50. Then he said to another, "How much do you owe?" And he said, 100 measures of wheat. He said to him, "Take your bill and write 80. So what was the brilliant idea? He was cutting the amount that these men owed the master. So obviously they would become friends. But also it seemed like the master was now generous. So the master was also seen in a good light. So everybody was happy. But what is the problem in this parable? The master commended the dishonest steward for his shrewdness. For the sons of this world are more shrewd in dealing with their own generation than the sons of light. So the problem here seems to be that Jesus is condoning dishonesty. But what is the solution? The traditional solution is Jesus is only focusing on the shrewdness of this man and not focusing on the dishonesty, which may be true. And the second solution is when this man cut off what the men owed the master, he was not cutting off what they owed the master, but from his own profit that he was getting as being steward and manager. But anyway, the whole point of this parable is this. If only we Christians were as eager and ingenious as people of darkness, that is, to spend as much time and effort for our spiritual lives than for our business, recreation, pleasure, and personal interest.